Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Now, a few days ago, I ranked the top 10 epic champions inside Clan Boss. A lot of you loved that video and you wanted me to repeat it for rares and legendaries. So today we're actually going to do the rares. Now, coming up with this video in researching all the champions, obviously I don't own and I haven't tried every single rare champion out there in the game. I found that there's actually a lot more than 10 rare champions who are really good against Clan Boss. There's probably about 15 to 20 range of champions that you can actually build into a really viable, strong Clan Boss team. And just like the epic video, we're not going to rank these champions in order from 1 to 10. Even though I love doing these ranking videos, it all depends on which role you're trying to serve with any specific champion inside your whole Clan Boss team. Is it going to be the debuffer? Is it going to be the poison damage dealer, turn meter manipulation, whatever? It's hard to just say, oh, this champion's better than this one. It all depends on what you're trying to do. You're trying to heal, do damage, you know, there's a variety of different tasks, defense up, etc., that is important and fundamental to a good Clan Boss team. So let's go ahead and start things out by champion number 1. And a great place to start out will be Apothekary. So Apothekary is definitely top 3. You can make the case number 1 best rare inside the entire game. Apothekary is a funny champion in the sense that, and it goes for every champion that has both the increased speed and also the turn meter boost on one ability. You could say this about any of them, but he's one of those champions that you don't notice oftentimes just how good he is until you remove him from a team, because keeping these turn meters going on the 3-turn cooldown, definitely want to book your Apothekary. Keeping these turn meters increasing and keeping that speed up on your entire team has just such a profound and tangible effect on the overall battle. Again, take him out of your team and you'll notice how much you'll miss him. And on top of that, he also has the heal, so he can be a great kind of heal support for your Clan Boss team, kind of as a secondary healer, or him along with lifesteal gear can really support your team and do a great job of keeping things moving quickly inside your Clan Boss battle. You can use him all the way up until really Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. Some teams even run him at that difficulty. Can't say the same thing about all of these rare champions, but Apothekary you definitely can say that about. Definitely belongs here on the list. Next up is Marked. Marked is great because she serves kind of a dual purpose role on your Clan Boss team. She has both increased defense and decreased defense, both incredibly valuable in any Clan Boss team. She also has a kind of a cool A3 here where she places a block debuffs on all your allies for 1 turn. This can be booked down to a 3-turn cooldown, so having that increased defense and the block debuffs protecting you from the stun and the poison of the Clan Boss is very helpful. And then on her A2, decreased accuracy. On her A1, it is the decreased defense. So really solid Clan Boss champion is Marked. Definitely has a great role, again, with the 2 sides of the defense down and defense up in one champion. Certainly very valuable. Next up, we have Bogwalker, who is a champion that we don't really hear a lot about in the game. Is because he kind of sucks everywhere except for Clan Boss, but Clan Boss, he's actually really usable. You can see in his reviews here, Clan Boss 4.6, everywhere else is, well, not so hot. Anyway, check out his abilities here. He, again, has the, 50% chance when booked of landing that decreased attack debuff for 2 turns on his A1. Decreased attack is really important. Decreased attack and decreased defense on Clan Boss. You need 1 or 2 champions with those abilities, with those debuffs on your team, okay? And then his A2 is cool too, has the increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Granted, it is the weak version at 30%, but really cool to have the decreased attack and the increased defense with the attack on the A2. It's also scaling on attack and defense. You can build him with really high defense. You want to be looking out for those sort of champions when you're building your Clan Boss team, recognizing how valuable defense is. And then on the passive, really cool passive, plays a 30% reflect damage buff on all allies for 1 turn when they're attacked with a critical hit, so has that reflect on there as well. And then the HP in dungeons is kind of irrelevant against Clan Boss, but Bogwalker definitely going to make the list here of our top 10 Clan Boss rare champions. So next up is going to be Doomscreech, who is a Void Undead Horde champion. He's really cool because I'm a sucker for turn meter manipulation, guys. Just one of my favorite abilities in most, I don't know if it's undervalued because a lot of people value it appropriately, but I just love it. And he does that, and he does a little bit more too. So Doomscreech, you can see he's actually used in Arena as well. Clan Boss should be higher than a 4.1, super solid. So on the A1, it has a attack enemy 2 times, 25% chance of placing a 50% decrease accuracy debuff, and that scales off of HP, which is, again, is really important here. We're looking for these champions that you can build with really high HP, make them way more robust for your Clan Boss team, and don't even have to worry about their attack so much, okay? And then on the A2, we talked about this, fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%. 30% turn meter, granted he is a void, but that's very rare to find on a rare, so really solid there. Also places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Really, it's the Warning Screech ability, which makes him so valuable in the Clan Boss. Needs to be booked down to 3 turns as well, but again, keeps the battle going, keeps your team moving with that turn meter manipulation, and has the increased defense there as well. Super solid when you can get it down to the 3-turn cooldown. And then on his A3, pretty cool too, attacks all enemies, places a shield buff equal to 30% max HP of this champion for 2 turns. Damage increases according to this champion's current HP. Again, damage based on HP, so you can actually put out a significant amount of damage as well against Clan Boss because you're building him with insanely high HP. Get those shields up, get the increased defense, and then speeding up your team with a turn meter boost as well. Super solid champion is Doomscreech. Alright guys, so we're also going to include Kael on our list. Kael is definitely one of the starting champions, one of the most popular champions in the game. He's definitely my favorite of the 4 starting champions, and you can run him all the way up until Nightmare Clan Boss easily, and even beyond that if you really need a poisoner and you don't have one, better somewhere else. The cool thing about Kael for Clan Boss is he puts out the poison, the weak version of poison on his A1, so he's going to be landing these with 100% rate, so that's nice, even though it's the weak version, which is, you really want that 5% poison, not the 2.5%, but even so, at least he's landing them every time, providing his accuracy is high enough. And then on the A3 of Kael, he also has the 4 times at random, has a 40% chance of placing a 5%, so the strong version of poison for 2 turns, and you can book that up to a 50% chance and book the turns down to 4. So essentially, 1 every 4 turns, you're landing the strong version of poison, hopefully, and then you're landing a ton of the weaker versions of poison. He's definitely a poisoner in the rarity that you can actually run pretty late into the game, and he does surprisingly well. You'll be happy with his overall damage output, I believe, in your Clan Boss team. Next up is going to be Hex Weaver. Hex Weaver is a really solid champion. She is a Dark Elf Spirit Affinity champion. You can see that her reviews are really good too. Like, everything's over 4.5 on her reviews, so for the most part, Spider's Den being the only exception, and Fire's Knight at 4.4, but still, people who have her obviously really enjoy her. And you can see the decreased accuracy debuff on the A1, kind of whatever. AoE heal, though, on the A2. This is really nice. It's based on all the champions, all your allies' max HP as well, and can be booked down to a 3-turn cooldown. So at an AoE heal on a 3-turn cooldown, 15% based on their max HP again, and you can book that up for an extra 30% as well. It's a pretty solid, it's kind of like a continuous heal type ability, being that it's only 15%, and yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It can kind of supplement having lifesteal gear too. Like, her with lifesteal gear is going to be a pretty solid team, especially if you add the increased defense buff that we talked about, kind of paired with one of those other champions on this list. And then on her A3, increased crit rate, kind of whatever. I'm not really excited about the increased crit rate buff at all, but it does have a 15% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns, and it can be booked down to 3 turns. So again, having that increased speed is very valuable. That's why she's a pretty good support for Clan Boss in the rare category, and she definitely makes this list of top 10. Next up is Payne Keeper. Payne Keeper is really cool. She is a Void champion of the Dark Elf faction, and her A1, she's cool because she builds, all of her skills have to do with HP, defense, and attack. So she has like all of the main categories based on damage on her kit here. So A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, fills this champion's turn meter by 10%, so she's going to keep her moving here. Her base speed is 102, so pretty respectable for a rare champion. And then attacks all enemies, then heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. That's what you want here. Compared to Hex Weaver, this heal is better in some ways. It's only a 4-turn cooldown versus a 3, but it also does damage to the clan boss, and the damage is based on HP. So you want to build her with a ton of HP, improve her heals, a better heal overall that we talked about with Hex Weaver, and also on her A3, decrease the cooldowns of all ally skills by 1 turn, and that can be booked all the way down to 4 turns. So pretty solid, right? So once every 4 turns, you're going to be able to use this combat tactics ability, and then in these longer clan boss battles, those are going to add up and affect the entire, the best abilities of all your other allies in the composition with Payne Keeper. So a really cool champion with some pretty interesting abilities here. So that's why she definitely makes the list of our top 10 rares. Next up is the Magic Affinity Rune Warder. He is a dwarf and he looks badass, doesn't he? I don't know, I love his armor. He just has a really cool kind of aesthetic about him, in my opinion. Pretty cool, like, axe and shield as well. Anyway, so he has a 4.5 rating, also a 4.8 in Fire Knights too. So definitely a champion you can invest in multiple areas in the game. But what makes him so good against Clan Boss? First of all, his damage is based on HP. Again, really, really solid. What we're looking for in Clan Boss. Champions whose damage are based on HP or defense are super solid. On his A2, you can see this is a really cool ability. Has the attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff, the strong version, for 2 turns, and that can be booked up to a 70% chance. So really solid on the 3-turn decrease attack debuff on him. But really, his Rune of Outlasting is solid too. Plays a 15% reflect damage buff and a 7.5% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's solid. The reflect damage plus the continuous heal for 2 turns is just a nice kind of gives him a really well-rounded kit and makes him really solid. And you can see where the reflect also helps out against Fire Knight, right? You can see why he has such a high rating there. One of the few champions with reflect. There's not a ton of them out there. Anyway, that's his kit, and that's why he makes the list. Hopefully you guys can see why too. The decreased attack damage, decreased attack damage based on HP, and having that heal ability with the reflect on the A3. Kind of a poor man's counterattack there from Rune Warder. So saving the best towards the last here, I love Coffin Smasher. Coffin Smasher, a pretty new champion in the game, is a beast in Clan Boss. Again, my personal favorite on the list, and I love, like, again, his aesthetic is super cool. He's a cool looking champ. I like him. A Knight Revenant faction. So let's take a look at his skills here. Let's take a look at his kit, and his reviews here. Shoot, 4.9 Clan Boss review. Granted, only 60 reviews at the time of this recording, but here we go. Attacks one enemy 3 times each hit, so 3 times chance here. Has a 15% chance, can be booked up to 30% chance of placing a decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. So the strong version you get when booked. You have a 30% chance 3 times on his A1 of landing that. Pretty solid. On the A2, attacks one enemy, 50% chance, can be booked up to 70% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. Dude, really solid. And his damage based on HP as well. Dude, this guy's a beast. And then his passive is really cool too. Decreases the damage inflicted by AoE attacks by 5%. So that's going to be solid, right? Obviously against Clan Boss, decrease the damage enemies inflict with AoE attacks by 5%. That's across the board, not just on him. So really, really cool ability, really cool champion, definitely makes the list. Last but not least is going to be Requiem Tender from the High Elf faction. On her A1, she has the decrease attack debuff. You guys are noticing some themes here in our top 10. Chance of landing that decrease attack is always going to be valuable. And then on her Tender's Watch, it has remove all debuffs from all allies, then places a 15% continuous heal buff on them for 2 turns, and that can be booked up to 3 turns. Really cool because it's nice to have a rare that you can run in your clan boss team and not have to necessarily all be putting lifesteal gear on all your champions, and she definitely can kind of serve that role with a 3-turn 15% continuous heal buff for 2 turns and removing the poisons from your allies, kind of like a mini bad L there in that ability. And then on the A3, Call to Life, really cool, revive an ally with 30% HP and fills their turn meter by 30% on top of that. So having her with a healer, like with an Apothecary or something like that, is really solid because you can heal them right back up and they're right back in the fight, and that can be booked down to 5 turns. I love the revive ability on the rare. Granted, it is a void, but she definitely belongs on the list in my opinion. So guys, who did I leave off of this list? Let me know who you think I snubbed in my top 10 clan boss rare champions. Let me know if you want a legendary up next, or if you want kind of to switch things up and do like Fire Knight or Ice Golem or Dragon Slayer. I'll definitely keep coming up with these lists, because maybe you guys will see a champion and you think, you know what, I never thought about, you know, I pulled her or him and I never thought about leveling them up, but I actually really could use that as part of my clan boss or Dragon Slayer or whatever team. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, take care, guys.